Mama Ararira. This is Democracy Now! And of course that flight that went down was last Thursday night, that crashed just outside of Buffalo, New York. As we turn now to our next guest, an intellectual giant in African studies for the past 4 decades. In 2005, Foreign Policy and Prospect magazines named him among the top 100 public intellectuals in the world, written over 30 enormously influential books, including Towards a Pax Africana, The African Condition, Black Reparations in the Era of Globalization, The Power of Babel, Language and Governance in the African Experience, Islam Between Globalization and Counterterrorism, as well as the book The African Predicament and the American Experience, A Tale of Two Edens. He's written and narrated a much-discussed 1986 TV series on BBC and PBS called The Africans, A Triple Heritage. I'm talking about the Kenyan-born Pan-Africanist thinker Ali Masrui. He's Albert Schweitzer Professor in Humanities and Director of the Institute for Global Cultural Studies at State University of New York, Binghamton. Born in Mombasa in Kenya in 1933, Dr. Masrui studied in Manchester, New York, and Oxford, then became a professor in Uganda. In 1973, forced into exile by the Ugandan dictator Idi Amin, and has taught in the United States as well as at institutions around the world. In addition to his appointments at Binghamton, Professor Masrui is also Albert Luthuli Professor at Large at University of Jos in Nigeria, the Andrew D. White Professor at Large Emeritus and Senior Scholar in Africana Studies at Cornell University, and he is Chancellor of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in Kenya. Professor Ali Masrui joins us now in our Firehouse studio. Welcome to Democracy Now!
Delighted to be here, Amy, and congratulations on your very successful program.
It is great to have you with us. You have had many experiences in your life that really go to the connection between the United States and Africa. You met with the founding president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, in New York, as well as other places. You were driven out of Uganda by Idi Amin, though met with him many times. You met with Jomo Kenyatta. You're the chancellor of a university by that name in Kenya. You met with the Queen of England and sat in a tent with Muammar Gaddafi and discussed world affairs. You just had tea with the Indian Prime Minister in November. This is the 100th anniversary of the birth of Kwame Nkrumah, the founding president of Ghana. It's also the time of the election of the first black president of the United States, his father from Kenya, Barack Obama. I heard you speak yesterday at the International Studies Association in New York, and you said it's bigger than that for Barack Obama.
Yes, indeed. Barack Obama is setting a precedent not just for the United States, but for the entire Western world. In none of the countries in the Western world with a wide majority population has there been an election to install a head of state or a head of government who was black.
So you're saying he's the first black president of the Western Hemisphere?
And of the Western world. That is including Europe, not just the Western Hemisphere, but the Western world as a whole, because we keep on wondering when we'll have a black president of France, for example, although there's been progress in appointing ministers who are from Africa or from the world of color. And then a black prime minister of Great Britain would be very nice, and I'm sure it will happen, not necessarily in my lifetime, but probably in yours or in the lifetime of my children. And then, even more surprising, but historically, but perfectly understandable in modern terms, a black chancellor of Germany, and that will take a while. But I'm sure because of Barack Obama and breaking that original taboo in the Western world about appointing as heads of state people who are not of European extraction, it opens other doors around the Western world as well as the Western Hemisphere. And then Barack Obama himself becomes the most powerful single black individual in the history of civilization. You know, there's never been a person in control of the resources which the United States has, of the creative and destructive powers that the United States has. We've had great individuals in African history, like Menelik II of Ethiopia, or Ramses II of Egypt, or even more recent one like Kwame Nkrumah. Those were powerful within their countries or their regions. They were not globally powerful in the sense in which a president of the United States is. So he's easily the most powerful single black individual that's ever walked planet Earth. And that's a major breakthrough in race relations.
His father also is Kenyan, as you are.
Yes, indeed.
The significance of Barack Obama's links, his relations to Kenya.
Yes, but although I didn't know the older Barack Obama personally, we share friends. They're friends even now. I talk to for information about the older Obama, and we are waiting for the first.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Malik yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal latina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. The English translation of that is, in the name of Allah, most merciful and compassionate. All praises be to Allah, Lord of the worlds, most merciful and compassionate, Lord of the day of reckoning. And you alone we worship, and you alone we seek help. Guide us on the straight way, the way of those you have blessed, and not those upon whom is wrath, or those who are lost. And that was the opening chapter of the Muslim Islamic holy book, the Holy Quran, and that was the blessed chapter or surah entitled Fatiha, the one. Okay. I'm Hassan Rashid, and I welcome you to another edition of the History, Community Life, and Diversity of Muslim Americans in New England. Excellent being with you, and it's also a great achievement to come into your lives like we do here every week. Okay, the opening video was of a depiction of it was a featured interview with Democracy Now! Several years back, of the late and great Ali Matzuri, a scholar, Islamic scholar, who recently passed away. And it's a great loss to the Islamic world, and it's a great loss to Africa too. He was a son of Africa. So we'll touch a little bit more on that in a few minutes. But there's also another great individual that has recently passed, and her name is, I have a little trouble pronouncing this name, but she was the lady, I'll tell you a little bit about her right now. She was a woman who pioneered the abolition of female genital mutilation, and her name was Ifu Dorkino. That's Ifu Dorkino, and we have a small video on her life, if time permits for us to get to it. So that's Ali Matzuri and Ifo Dorkino, both Africans, and the latter, Miss Dorfino, she pioneered the abolition, the movement to abolish female genital mutilation. And you know, a lot of Islamic countries all over the world, they practice, some people practice female genital mutilation. And I'd like to just bring to your attention that it is not sanctioned or authorized in the Holy Quran. So if you're a Muslim, the Holy Quran is central besides Allah, and the fact that everything in the Holy Quran is sacred, and there is no sanctioning or condoning of female genital mutilation. So we're going to get into that. But first I'd like to just update you on a few things that's happening right here around our CCTV. Okay, the Cambridge Community Television Media Training Program, they're offering a course entitled Fundamental Animation. This course is coming. They'll be here next month. So there's quite a bit that's happening next month. This course is costs $70 for members, $260 for non-members, and the dates are Wednesdays, the 5th of November, the 12th of November, the 19th of November, the 3rd of December, and the 10th of December. So this course is going to run for 5 days. It's entitled Fundamentals of Animation. So if you like additional information, you can call 617-661-6900 or check out cctv.org, the website, for more information on detailed information on this course, Fundamentals of Animation. Okay, other things happening here at CCTV is there's an educational workshop that's on October 27th. It's right around the corner. So it's Instagram, street photography, in the digital age. Okay, another course, it's entitled Being Interviewed for Video. That's a Wednesday. That's today, October 27th. It's too late to register for that one, but coming of age narratives and film, I don't think it's too late to register for that, and that'll take place on October 27th, 6 to 9 p.m. There's still time to register for that. And there's also Introduction to Podcasting. That's Tuesday, November 18th, December 2nd to the 9th. And there's also Dress Up Your Set. That's entitled workshop entitled Dress Up Your Set, and that's on December 7th, 6 to 9 p.m. So if you like additional information, I advise you to call right here at CCTV for additional information on all of the courses. There are many more courses than what I've just announced to you. That's 617-661-6900. Or another thing you can do, you can come on in 438 and pick up the latest CCTV newsletter that's entitled Open Studios. And this newsletter has all of the information pertaining to courses, etc., and what's happening around here at CCTV. I don't know if you can see that well. That's it. That's Open Studios. So you can walk right in and get these all day. So you come on in for more additional information. Okay, another thing that's happening around Cambridge, that's Dr. John Lackey-Moosey will be at 628 Somerville with his Revelation of Grace Conference on October 25th. That's Saturday. So they'll be running this from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., 628 Somerville Avenue, Mass. 02143. Bring a friend and join us as we hear what God's Word says about this important topic. The theme of that this conference is entitled Be Careful What You Think Of. That's Be Careful What You Think Of. So free interest and light meal. So phone number for additional information is 20677-5885 or LackeyMusic@AOL.com. So there's a website too. That's www.cfm.org. That's Be Careful What You Think Of. The theme of this upcoming Revelation of Grace Conference at the 628 Somerville Avenue, Somerville, Mass. 02143. That's Dr. John Lackey-Moosey, CCTV's own Dr. John Lackey-Moosey, inspirational speaker, host, and teacher. Okay, so I gotta get back to what we opened the program with. We opened the program with Dr. Ali Missouri, and my condolences go out to him, his family, friends, and all of his friends, relatives, acquaintances, etc. All those people who had a special place in their heart for Dr. Ali Missouri, scholar of Africa, who divided U.S. audiences. He dies at 81 years old. That's Ali Missouri, a scholar and a prolific author who set off a tsunami of criticism in 1986 by writing and hosting The African, a triple heritage, a public television series that culminated in what seemed to be an endorsement of African nations acquiring nuclear weapons. Died on October 12th at his home in Vesto, New York. He was 81. His family announced the death without specifying a cause. So Uhuru Kenyatta, the president of Kenya, where Professor Missouri was born, said at that time of his death that he was a towering academic whose intellectual contributions played a major role in shaping African scholarship. So his books and his hundreds of scholarly articles explore topics like African politics, international political culture, political Islam, globalization. He was for many years a professor at the University of Michigan. Since 1989, he held the Albert Schweitzer Chair at Binghamton University, State University of New York. So there's much more to be said about this gentleman, but right now we're gonna just set the biography of this gentleman down for a little while and move on to another great woman of African descent who recently passed away too. So I want to just devote some equal time to her to cover this. So we're going to try to get this video on, and we're going to eventually get back to these two great figures, Ali Missouri and Ifu Dorkino. So this is the woman who initiated the movement to end female genital mutilations. Okay, so okay, I got the sound ready for you. Okay, okay, hold on.
Between 100 and 140 million girls and women, mostly in Africa, in 28 countries of Africa, have undergone genital mutilation. The good news is that there is now a movement of grassroots activism.
Mais après la sensibilisation,
people now have moved a little bit beyond the cultural practice to seeing FGM as a major human rights abuse.
So that was a short highlight of the life or what this woman Ifu Dorkino was all about. She initiated, well, she was one of the pioneers of the movement to eliminate or eradicate female genital mutilations wherever it's occurring. But we know that it's a fact, a reality in the Islamic world, and we know that nowhere is it condoned or supported in the Holy Quran. So she has initiated a great thing, and those of us who are part of this movement to help to end female genital mutilations, I know everyone sends out their condolence to this woman, and I do too. So we're going to get back to that if time permits, okay? And also Ali Missouri. So I send out my condolence to them, and I know the rest of you in eastern Massachusetts do also. Okay, we got some local things that's coming up here. There was an upset over Islam in schools, the teaching of Islam in schools right here in Massachusetts, in Revere, as a matter of fact, and that's very close to where we're located. Some parents in Revere were angry when they learned students were being taught about Islam and the Muslim religion. No religion should be taught at school. In their paper, it says, Allah, their only God. That's insulting to me as a Christian who believes in Jesus and just Jesus only. Revere, Massachusetts. Some parents in Revere were angry when they learned students were being taught about Islam and the Muslim religion. No religion should be taught at school. In the paper, it says, Allah is their only God. That's insulting to me as Christians who believe in just Jesus alone, said Anthony Giannino. A section of the textbook describing the beliefs of Muslims says, I bear witness that there's no God but Allah. Giannino immediately pulled his son out of the classroom. We don't believe in Allah. I don't believe in my son learning about this here. He said, if my son was from another country and came here, he would have been catered to, but where he's not being catered to, they gave him an F. The superintendent of Revere Public School wrote the parents a letter explaining that it is simply part of the history that the sections of the current curriculum is stated. I want to be very clear that no religion is taught with the purpose of converting students to that religion. Other parents said they had no issue with the assignment. What is Muslim about? What is Christianity about? That's what I teach at home. Everybody should respect everybody else's religion, said Idelia Garcia. When you're talking about a specific religion in the world, there's going to be tradition and there's going to be religions that children should learn about, said Ovidio Rafa. But some parents said they did not want their kids learning anything about Islam. They should also say to you, in history, your son is going to learn about Islam. Send out a letter, said Guy Anino, who also said he was starting a petition and had plenty of supporters. So, this Miss Adela Garcia said, I support that. I said that everybody should respect everybody else's religion. And a good example of that is CCTV and its diversity. So Mr. Guy Anino, he can learn a lot from watching CCTV, okay? Another message, the Sufi Luminous Heart Retreat and book signing. The free book event on Saturday, October 25th from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. is happening at 796 Beacon Street at the Samid Integral Studio in Newton Center. Luminous Heart Retreat from 9:30 to 5:30 a.m. is postponed February 14th to February 14th to 2015, Valentine's Day. So please plan now for the 2-hour event inspired by the contributing authors of The Heart and Soul of Psychiatry, the transpersonal approach through theater, arts, drama, therapy, psychodrama, transformational theater. So that's The Heart and Soul of Psychotherapy, a transparent approach through theater, arts, drama, therapy, psychodrama. And that's well, for more information on that, you could go to the website, contact or email Sufi Message at gardenlight.org. That's Sufi Message, gardenlight.org. Enemies of the Right, that's from executive producers Alex Kroner and Michelle Wolf and director Bob Gardner. The Prince Al-Walid bin Talal Islamic Studies program presents the Harvard screening of Enemies of the Right. So that's today, 6 p.m. And the Enemies of the Right, the Noor Inayat Khan story. An Indian Muslim woman defies the Nazis in World War II Paris. A true story. Cambridge area screening. That's Wednesday, October 22nd, 2014, 6 p.m. So they're at room SO20, lower level, 1730 Cambridge Street, Cambridge, Mass. 02138. That's at 6 o'clock. So the price is free. There's no, it's free. So you may still have time to RSVP to aisp@fas.harvard.edu, or you can call Mike Courier at 617-495-3379. That's Mike Courier, 617-495-3379. That's Enemies of the Right, Noor Inayat Khan story, an exclusive screening, okay, at room 2. S202, lower level, 730 Cambridge Street, Cambridge, Mass. That's right at Harvard University. Okay, we just got a little bit of time left, and so I'm going to spend it getting back to this Miss Eno Afu. I think that was her name, and those African names are very hard for me to pronounce, but she was the woman who, she passed away recently, and my condolences go out to her. She was the woman that was one of the pioneers of the movement to end female genital mutilation, an ungodly practice that's not sanctioned in the Holy Quran. I don't even think it's sanctioned in any other of the religious books, documents, such as the Bible, etc., etc. So here it is.
Between 100 and 140 million girls and women, mostly in Africa, in 28 countries of Africa, have undergone genital mutilation. The good news is that there is now a movement of grassroots activism.
Mais après la sensibilisation.
So that's about it. So I'd like to remind you that superior wisdom can never be subjected by inferior wisdom. So don't forget now, pick up your latest edition of your Spirit Change News. You see the vendors around, and this latest edition has a lot of interesting items in it. So that's what it looks like, and I'm sure you're familiar with the Spirit Change vendors, especially the ones with the badges. Those are the ones you buy your paper from. I'm Hassan Rashid. Again, once again, superior wisdom can never be subjected by inferior wisdom.
People now have moved a little bit beyond the cultural practice to seeing FGM as a major human rights abuse.
And I'll leave you with the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum.
Between 100 and 140 million girls and women, mostly in Africa, in 28 countries of Africa, have undergone genital mutilation.